Marvel today announced that Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars have both been delayed. Oh, we honestly should have seen this coming, and you know what? I feel horrible that this happened to us fans, so I decided to make Avengers Doomsday for you. You're welcome.
No, my X-Men, they're all gone. No. Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, you came. Spider-Man, you first! Oh, that's my cameo time. Sorry guys, gotta go. Oh, Yelena, you're in! Piece of cake. Daddy, throw me. Yeah, I should have seen that coming. Hulk, your turn. Hulk smash. Hulk gonna go smash. No, this can't be. Who can save us? Oh, who are you? No more movie.
I had 20 minutes. It was the best I could do. But that's exactly what we'll be talking about here today, guys, is this delay for Avengers Doomsday, why it's actually great news for both the movies, how it could impact the MCU timeline, because now this means Spider-Man Brand New Day will be released before Avengers Doomsday instead of between it. And although you might not think much of it, when movies are swapped around like that, Marvel will change the story to fit the release schedule. But you guys give me your opinions on how you feel about Avengers Doomsday being delayed along with Secret Wars. Do you see it as a good thing? How do you think this impacts Spider-Man Brand New Day? Would you give my version of Avengers Doomsday a 10 out of 10? I hope so. Like, subscribe, you know the drill. Let's get into it. Alright, so yes, out of nowhere, Marvel came out and announced that they will be delaying Avengers Doomsday from May 1st, 2026 to now December 18th, 2026. With Avengers Secret Wars being a year apart, they did the same thing with it, changing its date from May 2027 to now December 2027. And since Secret Wars is still kind of far away and we have no real idea exactly what will go down in that movie, we're not going to speculate much on how this delay could impact it. So we'll mainly be sticking to how it affects Avengers Doomsday and Spider-Man Brand New Day. On the Avengers front, this is fantastic news.
Say that again?
Since the cameras for Avengers Doomsday had only recently begun filming, where they are making the film right now, the 12-month window it was given to film all the movie, do all the VFX, along with the promotion and all the big tie-ins, because this seems to be a pretty giant Avenger movie. They're going to go all out with the marketing. A 12-month window was not going to be enough time ever. But they were pushing forward and we were hearing nothing about a delay, so a lot of fans were actually getting scared and thinking, this is going to look awful. This is going to be a terrible looking Avenger movie. So them telling us it's being pushed 6 months to December isn't all that surprising. In fact, I'm surprised they didn't move it further. I think that could actually still be a real possibility that the movie ends up releasing sometime in 2027 and then pushing Secret Wars to 2028. So although yeah, kind of a bummer, and I'm very excited to see what Doomsday is, especially after the end of Thunderbolts and some of the X-Men casting that they have for this movie. I'm wanting to see how it all comes together and them just getting a couple extra months to get those VFX done and all the other promotional things they need. Sure, take your time with it, but this really did raise some eyebrows about Spider-Man. You see, if we go back to the days of Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home, for the longest time, there was something in the schedule where Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was supposed to release before Spider-Man No Way Home. But it was pandemic times and things were being shifted around all the time and schedules weren't aligning and things were off. All is to say, when it was all said and done, Spider-Man No Way Home came out first and then Multiverse of Madness came out next. That ended up ruining some of Kevin Feige's plans because he really needed Multiverse of Madness to introduce us to America Chavez, a character who had the power to create star portals into the multiverse. This was a vital character that was then going to become important in the story of Spider-Man No Way Home, where she would then be the thing to create portals to bring in Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and we even had concept art of this being the case, and well, all of that had to be changed and scrapped around once the film switched places. This is why we have Ned with ancestral magic in his blood, and we got the spider people in the living room of his Grammy. I still love this movie, but damn, man, what can you imagine if it wasn't made during the pandemic and all these changes? And you've been following all the rumors and speculation that's been going on with Spider-Man 4. There are two storylines that could either happen. One where Spider-Man is a street-level story that takes place before the events of Avengers Doomsday, or we have a multiverse movie that would take place after Avengers Doomsday, and the film could even be set on Battleworld, which is how they would explain all the multiverse shenanigans, since a lot of other universes would all be in one place. Now that a Spider-Man Brand New Day is officially coming out before Avengers Doomsday, well, baby, we are put right in the path for that prequel street-level story a lot of us are hoping for. Even more so with the recent leak where we found out that Disney was making toys and products of characters like Scorpion, Tombstone, and Boomerang, all as tie-in promotions for Spider-Man Brand New Day, looking like they'll be villains, and those are for sure street-level villains. It's all kind of coming together, and obviously Disney didn't just make this decision today when they woke up. They had probably known for a while that, yeah, we're gonna end up delaying Avengers Doomsday, but we're gonna wait a couple of weeks or months to announce it. Sony was probably aware of this and made those changes accordingly. Now, let's talk about the other elephant in the room. I think we have to really think about the same logic we're using on Avengers Doomsday and maybe apply it to Spider-Man Brand New Day. If we look at Avengers Doomsday, the whole reason we're saying that this was always going to get delayed and the movie was cooked because of how little time it had to be made, well, let's look at Spider-Man Brand New Day. That currently right now has an official release date of July 31st, 2026. In 2 months, it will be the 1-year mark for that film, putting it in a similar situation to Doomsday. Now, I know what a lot of you are going to say. Well, Chris, Spider-Man Brand New Day is not going to have near the level of effects, characters, and grand things that Avengers Doomsday is planning. While you're right. It is still a movie that is definitely going to rely on heavy VFX. Big action set pieces also require that time to promote the movie, tie in stuff, and market it and release it. That 12-month window is also a strain on Spider-Man Brand New Day, and we could very well likely get an announcement from Sony that, oh, this movie's delayed, and it puts us back into that situation where it could be delayed even further than Doomsday. Now, in my perfect world, there would be like a domino effect and this sort of synergy with Sony and Marvel, where Sony and Marvel's like, hey, we're going to delay Spider-Man. We know you're probably going to delay Avengers Doomsday one more time. How about you let Spider-Man release in December? That worked out for us in No Way Home. Almost made $2 billion in the pandemic. Let Spider-Man release then. And Avengers Doomsday will then be released in May of 2027. Honestly, that's my prediction. If I had to put money on it, that's what I'm saying is going to happen, and we'll still get the situation of Spider-Man before Doomsday. But let's say it doesn't. There's still two different studios. They don't always work well together. Sony's not going to want to release their newest Spider-Man movie the same time that Avengers Doomsday in December, especially when it's so packed already. We got films like Shrek 5, Ice Age 6, Jumanji 3, Dune Messiah. Throw in Spider-Man in there. Ain't nobody going to have money this holiday season because we all go into the movies. So they'd be forced to then be released in May of 2027, if not December of that following year. I know, a lot of dates and a lot of confusing things, but hey, this is why you watch me. I do the confusing thinking for you, and you leave an irrelevant comment in the comment section. That's our relationship. So while delays are usually kind of a dreadful thing for us fans and we complain, I see nothing but good here. We get time for the VFX of Doomsday to be perfected, to be well done, and Spider-Man Brand New Day will now release before, making much more sense of the timeline and the way Marvel likes to do things, hopefully keeping it a street-level story. But this is where I toss it off to you guys. What do you make of these delays? Your predictions on how it could impact the movie? Anything and everything, be sure and like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.